Hi, my name is Hayden Jones. I am a freshman at Trine University studying sports management. This presentation is going to be on the company Best Buy. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to give a little bit of history about the company. I'm going to talk about how the company got to be so popular. I'll also give some insight on the strengths and weaknesses of the company and how they can maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. I'll also be giving a lot of the financial information throughout this presentation. To start off, what is Best Buy? Best Buy is an American multinational consumer electronics retailer. So they specialize in distributing all kinds of electronics to their consumers all around, well, basically right now North America and getting closer to being all around the world. They also specialize in the service of helping out damaged products. You can bring in a damaged computer and they can help fix it. You can buy a car stereo and they can install it for you, so they'll have the installation. So some of these pictures on this first slide are the outside of the building. It shows that Best Buy, the store, is typically a large building that can hold all the electronics they need. The second picture on the right is the inside of the store that shows all of the electronics that they have, all of basically anything from car stereos to iPhone chargers to anything you can imagine in between those. Going on to the third slide, we're going to give a brief history. So in 1966, Best Buy was first founded by Richard M. Scholes, and the original name of the company was Sound of Music, Inc., which they specialized in car stereos, which they've continued that. In 1983, Sound of Music Company officially changed their name to become Best Buy Corporation, Inc., and in 1984, Scholes introduced the Superstore format, so the large store with all kinds of products, and basically you come in, you can see anything you want. And then in 1985, Best Buy actually finally went public. So in 1993, the Best Buy revenues reached $1.6 billion, which was a big step for them after being like a startup company and then reaching the billion mark. 1999, just 6 years later, Best Buy revenues surpassed $10 billion. So in just 6 years, they made a large increase of their revenues. And then in the following year, 2000, Best Buy launches new company website for people to shop online, which as we get into this new generation, the online shopping is becoming more and more important to consumers and to companies. And then last year in 2017, just the web sales alone topped $6 billion. So after they launched their website and began doing more online shopping, then they are increasing their sales for just online along with in-store. And then at the top of this slide, I have the series of logos that Best Buy went through from becoming Sound of Music to what we know today as Best Buy. On the next slide, I have a graph that shows the history of the growth for Best Buy from going from $200 million to $40 billion in 21 years. And as they increased to 1,314 stores in the U.S., China, and Canada, and there are still some in Mexico too. So they have begun to expand their company from just being a startup, and they're continually increasing in building more stores in more countries. The company mission statement, right? The first one on here is a quote from, I believe it was the president, that we are a growth company focused on better solving the unmet needs of our customers, and we rely on our employees to solve those puzzles. So really, they are also, like, along with selling products to their consumers, they like to help when a consumer or a customer comes in and has a problem. They like to be able to fix that problem so they can gain that loyalty from those customers. And their company motto is expert service, unbeatable price, because they pride themselves in having people who know what they're doing. And when you can bring in a computer, talk to one of the employees, and they can tell you exactly what's wrong, what you need to do, and how to fix it. And they have their unbeatable price, where they typically have lower prices than some of their competitors, such as Amazon, Walmart, and Radio Shack. Best Buy is, or next slide goes to why Best Buy is popular. So they are a large supplier of electronic products, and they are typically one of the number one places that people like to go for electronic needs, because that's really what they're known for, along with the service of those products. Like, they also have the service for the damaged products. So, like, for example, a few years ago, I went to Best Buy to get a new stereo in my car. We could go in there, look at the wide variety of car stereos that they had, and once you picked out one that you liked, you could have them install it for you, and then just come back later, pay the small installation fee, and they would do it right for you, so you wouldn't have to do it yourself or go a separate place to do it and probably pay more for it. Another thing that makes them so popular is that more and more people each and every year are using electronics, and the rate of electronic dependence that people have continually goes up each and every year, because we're becoming more dependent on electronics and new devices that are going to come out to make our lives easier. And Best Buy is a perfect place to go and do that, because they typically have every single electronic device that we could use, and some that we might not need, but it makes our lives easier, so might as well get it. Going on to the next slide, I have a graph that talks about the U.S. households with connected TVs, and over the last couple years, it has increased. It is increased a lot, which shows that more and more people each year are having more connected TVs, along with having a lot more electronics in their households. So, going along with that, Best Buy is a big supplier of connected TVs for the households. They have new ones every year, and with more and more households using them, that's going to increase sales for Best Buy, which is going to benefit them along with the consumers who are purchasing those TVs. And then going on to the next one, we get more into the financial aspect of Best Buy, which you have the revenues and net income, which from 2017, total revenue has increased, and the gross profit has been gradually increasing since 2015, reaching all the way up to 9 million. And then along with that, the net income has increased from 2016 to 2017 after it fell off, and but it has fallen off since 17-18. So they are still working on getting more and more products to help them increase their net income. Going on to the next one is another slide of what makes Best Buy so popular. So the first one on here is newest technology. Each and every year, there are companies like Apple and Microsoft that come out with new computers, new phones, and just new products altogether. And so Best Buy is a large distributor of those products, so they can rely on new technology each year, because the world that we live in is it's becoming more advanced with technology, and we're getting new technology each and every year to make our lives a lot easier. So Best Buy is one of the top places that people go to get those electronics to make their lives easier. The help centers, like I talked about before. Um, some people might not buy a product from Best Buy, but if they have a damaged computer or something happens to their phone, Best Buy is another one of those top places that people can go to get their electronic devices fixed or to get advice on what's wrong with the device and how they can fix it, or if they need to just throw it away altogether. There's no fixing. Um, the last one about what makes them so popular is they have lower prices than competitors. And like I said before, they compete with Amazon, Walmart, and then lately Radio Shack for the same electronics that each one sells. But Best Buy tends to take a lot of the customers because of their lower prices. Because, like they said in their motto, they believe expert service and unbeatable price. They pride themselves in having a lower price in the electronics that everybody else is selling, and consumers are going to like to buy the same product for a cheaper price. So they're typically going to go to Best Buy. Going into the next slide, I'm going to talk about their competition. So a few of their biggest competitors are Amazon and Walmart. So Amazon is it's a basically e-commerce, so website that you can basically buy anything you need, from bed sheets to a new TV, everything in between. And they sell everything, but they also sell electronics, where people today are, instead of getting up and going to the store, they would rather just get on the computer and order something and have it delivered to them. So that's where Amazon is competing with Best Buy, just through e-commerce, so online shopping, to beat out Best Buy for those customers that don't want to go to the store to get the products that they want. And then Walmart, we all know that Walmart is a large store where you can basically get anything from. And along with Amazon, Walmart is also taking the online shopping course, so people can get online, order anything they want, have it delivered. And Best Buy is slowly getting more involved with that to compete with these companies. And then the last point on competition was Radio Shack, which has gone out of business in recent years. So Radio Shack was a smaller electronics store like Best Buy, just in smaller stores, and they sold the same products, had the same services, but they went out of business with the size of their stores. And now that they're gone, it's a good reason for Best Buy, because all those customers that were loyal to Radio Shack rather than any other store are now open, and Best Buy can come in and get them to be loyal to Best Buy rather than Amazon or Walmart for their electronic needs. Going into the next slide, why Best Buy is unique. Like I talked about in earlier slides and showed the pictures of the store, Best Buy is typically a larger store format for like distributing their products. They have the large showroom where you can walk in, go and look around, and you can see what you want, what you need, and test out the products that you want to get. They stay up to date with newer technology while keeping few from recent years. So if you want to go and get an iPhone 6 from a few years ago, or you want to get an iPhone 10, they'll have both, or they'll have things similar. They'll have the newest, and they'll have stuff from recent years, just to give you the variety and the opportunity to buy the newest products that come out. And like I talked about in the competition with Amazon and Walmart being large e-commerce and for online shopping, Best Buy is actually staying alive without relying heavily on online shopping, because they rely more on the brick and mortar. You need to come in and you can see the large showroom, pick out what you want, take it to the register, and check out and leave, rather than being so dependent on online shopping. They still do have online shopping, but they're just not as dependent as they are on the in-store purchases. And which, as we get into like new into the future, more and more people are just doing online shopping, but Best Buy is still continuing their in-store shopping and doing very well with it. And then the picture here in the slide just shows it is a Black Friday ad from 2017, just showing how they have some of the newer products from last year. I wasn't able to get one for this year because it hasn't come out yet, but they had the newest products for last year for the Black Friday sales, and they're able to compete with like their low prices. Going into the next slide, talk about the weaknesses. Like I talked about last slide, the high dependence on brick and mortar stores does help them out instead of doing online shopping. But going into the future, people are going to be more and more involved with online shopping rather than actually going to the store. And although it is good that they have the in-store process of buying, they would probably have a better benefit from investing in more online shopping. Some of the struggles with sales growth, they've struggled recently because of Amazon coming in with the online shopping, because people are getting lazy and want to just sit at home on the computer, order stuff, and have it delivered, which that's just what it's coming to. And so their online Best Buy's online shopping would need to pick up to compete for the sales with the companies like Amazon. And then they rely on new products to come out every year, which sometimes people don't know if there's going to be anything new, or there's going to be a new product like a new iPhone or a new iPad coming out. So they kind of just guess that something new is going to come along rather than focusing on what they're selling at the moment, and they just like to focus on what might come out. And if something doesn't come out, then there's nothing they can really do for the next year because they focus so much on possibilities of something new coming out. Going into the strengths, Radio Shack is gone, which opens up all the customers to Best Buy. Their consistent yearly profit is always good. Everybody hears profit. Everybody loves it. And they're just very consistent with making a profit each year. And then Best Buy was second in sales of the Apple Watch behind actual Apple stores. So other than an actual Apple store, Best Buy was the number one place for people to go in and get the newest Apple Watch, that is basically just showing that they are one of the top places for new electronics. A way to minimize the weaknesses, just get more involved with online shopping, and that will help them compete with Amazon and Walmart. Promote more products to the consumers, so promoting the products that they have in store right now rather than future products, and especially promoting to those customers who were with Radio Shack but now don't really have a electronic store that they typically go to, so they could win over those customers and become loyal to Best Buy. Like I said, focus more on the products that are in store now rather than future possible products would just be best to help them with their sales. And then the next slide, we talk about maximizing strengths. Like I talked about, winning over the Radio Shack customers because they don't have any specific store they like to go to now because Radio Shack's gone. And that can increase sales as they get more customers that are more loyal to Best Buy. Keep up the consistent yearly profits and with advertising more products to increase sales, getting the products out more, getting them in the brains of people, especially those former Radio Shack customers. That will help bring in more customers, get more products sold, and increase the sales to keep their yearly sales consistent. And then continue to be a reliable source for new products such as the Apple Watch, because they were number one behind actual Apple stores for the new products. So they want to stay reliable with their services, along with having the newest technology for consumers to get when it first comes out. How Best Buy can grow, expand into other countries. They've expanded into China and then parts in Europe, but those businesses failed and they had to be shut down. But they can expand back into more countries and focus more on those businesses in those countries to keep them running, while the ones in North America are doing great. Yeah, like I said, keep the expansion stores in business. Get more involved with the online shopping so they can compete with other companies that are focused more on online shopping than in-store purchases. And then for the next slide, when reaching the top, how to remain there. So stay with e-commerce. So online shopping, the world is getting closer and closer to being, there's no stores, just everything's online. So they need to keep up with that. Newer technology, always, every year they're going to have something, but sometimes it's just a possibility, it might not happen. But typically new technology is always out every year, and they just need to keep having newer technology each and every year for the customers, because everybody's going to love the new technology that makes our lives easier. And then just continue to expand the stores into other countries, just to get out of or stay in North America and continue to go all around the world to increase the size of the corporation. The next slide is just showing a graphic of the global presence of Best Buy. Like you can see, there's a lot of stores in North America, and then there are a few in other parts of the world. But there are some places that Best Buy can expand to increase their global presence. For the next slide, I have it is a picture of the Best Buy stock from 2017, which it shows that Best Buy has a consistent rate of going up. Their price is going up, so they've been doing great throughout 2017, and that's expected for 2018 as well. So yeah, going into the next slide, predictions for 2018. They're going to be a top Black Friday destination, so an expected 30 to 35% discount for electronics in the store that everybody's going to love. Everybody loves discount. The Best Buy stock for 2018 is estimated of a low of $58 and estimated high of $95, which is higher than the estimated high of 95 is higher than last year's actual high of the stock price for the entire year. And then with new iPhones, Best Buy can see an increase in Apple product sales. So Apple is creating newer products each year, and Best Buy is a top place that sells those products, and consumers always like to go to Best Buy to get the newest products. So with the newer Apple products, that's just going to bring in more and more customers into Best Buy to get those products to increase sales for the company for 2018. Lastly, the last slide just has my all the sources I used. If there's any questions on this presentation, you can email me at hwjones@my.trine.edu. And thank you for watching this presentation.